Welcome to the grade 11 English language class, grade 11 of St. Peter's College, Colombo 4, Negombo branch. So today I'm going to do an English grammar lesson with you all. It's a very simple lesson, but it's somewhat very important because there are certain areas that you should have to learn accurately. So this lesson is based on competency level 6.10, that is uses of the conditional clauses appropriately. Conditional clause. So when you get this word conditional clause, first I'll brief you out with the background setting. So if you take this word conditional clauses, children, you all know when it comes to a sentence there are certain things that you need to know. A sentence begins with a capital letter, ends up with a full stop, and there is a subject, there is a verb, there is an object, and there is a fully complete meaning. But when it comes to these clauses, the clause, you know that it goes with the phrases. They are not fully complete sentences, just a group of words which gives you some kind of a meaning but not a fully complete meaning. So when it comes to a clause, there is a verb but then not a fully complete sentence. It doesn't begin with a capital letter nor ends up with an end punctuation. You all know that there are three end punctuations: the full stop, the question mark, and the exclamation mark. So when it comes to phrases, for an example, if I say in the sky, it gives you some kind of a meaning. It doesn't come out of the blue, but just gives you some kind of a meaning, but not a fully complete meaning. Likewise, the condition also gives you some kind of a meaning, but not a fully complete meaning. So for an example, if you study hard, okay, it gives you some kind of a meaning. If you study hard, but not a fully complete meaning. Right? But the difference between this phrase and the conditional is the phrase and this clause is, in the clause there is a verb. So this next one is the condition. So what is a condition? A condition is, I'll explain it with an example. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. So when it comes to if you study hard, that is the condition. So you are giving some kind of a pressure, you are giving some kind of a condition in order to get a certain result. If you study hard, then you will pass the exam. If you practice well, you will get selected for the team. So likewise, you are giving a condition in order to get the result that you want. So conditional clause can be divided into two parts: the condition and then the word clause. So now you all are familiar with the word. So why do we need conditionals in sentences? So why these conditionals are used in sentences? First, to know what actually happens. You need to know what is actually happens. Next one, to know what could happen. Next, to know what we should learn, what we should happen, or else to know what we wish would happen. Next one, to know what might have happened. So these, in order to get these answers, we use conditionals in sentences. So when it comes to these conditional sentences, children, there is a particular structure. The conditional sentence is composed of two parts. An if clause is there, a main clause is there. So now you all already know what a clause is. So what is this if clause? That is the clause in the conditional sentence. The if clause means the clause which holds the condition, where the word if is there. If you study hard, that is the part called if clause. And when it comes to main clause, in the main clause we include what is happening. Say, like for an example, if you study hard, what will happen is you will get through the exam. Again, if I say for an example for if clause, if you practice well, you will get selected for the team. So that is the ultimate result. So that is called the main clause. So a conditional sentence can be divided into two sections. One is the if clause. Because it holds the condition, you can call it as conditional clause as well. So you have the if clause or the conditional clause plus the main clause. Main clause is the ultimate result. So here I have briefed you with an example. If it rains tomorrow, we will not come. The result is that we are not going to come, and the condition is if it rains tomorrow. So this part is called if clause. Now I told you all, because it holds a condition, you can call it as a conditional clause as well. And the next part is called the main clause. That is the ultimate result. So the conditionals, there were 4. 0, first, second, third. Right, now all this time you all were learning 3. First, second and the third one. So now I'm going to brief you out with conditional 0 conditionals as well. There are 4 types of conditionals. So like the previous slide, we said 0 conditional, conditional type 1, conditional type 2 and conditional type 3. So I'm sure you all are familiar with these 3 types. So now we are going to add the 0 conditional as well. So you are going to complete all the 4 sections in conditional sentences. So now first we are moving on to 0 conditional. Now this is, first I'll brief you out with the example. If I'm late for school, my teacher gets angry. That is something that is a normal saying. If I'm late for school, the normal thing that happens is definitely the teacher will get angry. Right? That is a normal happening. So in these both lines, the first line which holds the if clause, the second line that is the main clause. So in both these they have used the same tense. Go through the example again. If I'm late for school, that is present tense. So if you are late to school now, the teacher will get angry. So both belongs to the same tense. Remember that. Both this if clause and the main clause belongs to the same tense. Now here we'll move on to the explanation. If clause, the main clause, both belongs to the same tense. Remember that, children. The if clause and the main clause both belongs to the same tense, that is simple present tense. Both the activities, both the parties, the conditional clause and the main clause both belongs to the same tense. Zero conditional. I have given you an example here. If you heat ice cream, it melts. That is the normal thing happens. It never changes. If you heat ice cream, it melts. Even if you heat it now or sometime back in the past, or if you are going to do it sometime in the future, whatever the time period, it's the result comes as the output. It melts. That is the result. The condition is if you heat the ice cream. So you are putting a condition. If you heat the ice cream, the ultimate result that is going to happen is that it's going to get melted. So here they have given you some points that are hidden in this conditional, that is zero conditional. Ice cream always melts when you heat. That's why I told you, even if it happens in the past or present or future, it melts. So it doesn't belong to any tense. Every time it happens in the same way. Same output comes. It melts. It is a fact. It's a true fact. It melts. Zero conditional sentences describe facts or things which are likely to happen. If you keep on heating this ice cream, it's likely to happen. The result, it melts. It's going to happen. Next one, the result is certain. It never changes. The condition always has the same result. So these are the main features of zero condition. It's a very simple thing. Right? Not like conditional type 1, 2, 3, those are simple, but then this is very much easier because in conditional type, in this if clause and the other clause, the tenses doesn't change. It melts, that is the result, doesn't change. Here also the same tense. It's simple present tense. Remember, zero conditional, that is the conditional type, the first one. So in both the sections, if clause and the main clause, it comes in simple present tense, no change. It's a fact. It's a real thing. You can say the things that are happening in the society, in the environment, right? The things that doesn't change, everything belongs to zero conditionals. So here, I'm going to give you an example. If you oversleep, so think what is going to happen if you oversleep. So the same result will be here. If you oversleep, I will miss the bus. So if you oversleep, you will miss the bus. So you have to be on time. So if you come across this example, if I miss the bus, I'm late for school. Now here you have this comma. When it comes to this comma, I will explain you briefly when it comes to my further slides. So now we are moving on to first conditional. So now you all know about the zero condition. Now we are going to be familiar with the other three conditionals. The first one is first conditional. Now here I have given you an example. If I go to London, I will see the Big Ben. If I go to London, I will see the Big Ben. Children, can you remember I told you in the first slide that is about the zero conditional. I told you in both the situations, in the main clause and the conditional clause, both came up with the same tense, simple present tense. But here a little bit change is there. What is that? If I go to London, in simple present tense, if clause, and the result is I will see the Big Ben. So if you go to London, you will see the Big Ben, right? So here I have given this word as simple present tense, while in the second one, in the main clause, the verb is given as will see. So in this sentence, think about the meaning of the sentence. If I go to London, I will see the Big Ben. You talk about a possible situation. If you go to London, you will see the Big Ben. That is a possible situation. So keep in mind, when it comes to first conditional type 1, you talk about real situation. You talk about possible situation, something that is going to happen. If I brief you out, if clause, the main clause. If clause is given in simple present tense. Every time when it comes to conditional type 1, the if clause should be given in simple present tense. Now here, if I go to London, the word go is given in simple present tense. So when it comes to the main clause, I will see the Big Ben, simple future. The main clause is given in simple future. Now here children, will see. So instead of this word will, there are certain words which we can use. Now here I have given, instead of will, we can use either can or may or must plus the verb infinitive. We can either use will, can, may or must. So according to the meaning of the sentence, you can pick up whatever the word you want. Plus the verb infinitive. What is the verb infinitive? The verb infinitive means the base, the original formation of the verb. So say run, jump, sing, study, right? So the original formation of the verb stem is called the verb infinitive, right? So if I say, for an example, if I go to London, I can see the Big Ben. If I go to London, I may see the Big Ben. So you can, according to the meaning, you can use any one of these to fill up the sentence. If I go to London, I will see the Big Ben. If I go to London, I will see the Big Ben. Conditional type 1. You talk about possible situation. Simple present tense, the if clause, and the main clause is given in simple future. Another example for you all. If I go to Buckingham Palace, I can take a photograph of the royal guard. If I go to the certain place, I can take. Now earlier I took will go. So I told you there are certain words which you can take according to the meaning. Now here you can say I can take a photograph. So here I can take also given in future, simple future. If you go to this certain place, you will take this, simple future, right? So that is conditional type 1. So moving on to conditional type 2. First we'll move on to the example given. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. Now what is the difference between conditional type 1 and conditional type 2? In conditional type 1, children, I told you all about this if clause. This verb was given in simple present tense. And the difference between this conditional type 1 and conditional type 2 is in conditional type 2, the if clause should be given in simple past tense. Earlier it was simple present tense, now it's simple past tense. It's very simple to remember. And what has happened to this second part, that is the main clause? I would travel in a spaceship. I would travel in a spaceship. So now earlier in the sentence we said will go, can see, can take, something like that. Simple future, right? And this word has changed. It has become would. So now we'll move on to this structure. If plus simple past. If plus simple past. And this word would, could, might. Earlier in conditional type 1, we took will, can, may. Can you remember? We said we can take photographs and then we will go, right? So now here, same thing, but they have used this word in the past tense. Would, could, might. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. I could travel in a spaceship. I may travel in a spaceship, right? So that's very simple to remember. And when you take the meaning, if I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. Now in conditional type 1, we spoke about possible situation, something that can happen in the future. But here in conditional type 2, we talk about imaginary situations. You imagine the situation. You imagine, if I were an astronaut, it's not going to happen. Right? You are still imagining, say for an example, if I had wings, I would fly in the sky. But I can't do it. But I'm just imagining. Right? I'm imagining the situation. So in conditional type 2, we talk about imaginary situations. In conditional type 1, we spoke about possible situations. So possible situations in conditional type 1, conditional type 2, imaginary situations. If I were an astronaut, I would travel in a spaceship. This is something that you are imagining. You are imagining this picture. You are imagining the situation. Okay. If I traveled in spaceship, I would go to Mars. If I traveled, simple past tense. If I travel, simple past tense. I would go. Would plus verb infinitive, the original formation of the verb. Right? So this is something that you imagine. This is an example which I normally come up with. If you had studied hard, if you had studied hard, you wouldn't have failed your exam. The mother is scolding, right? If you had studied hard, you wouldn't have failed your exam. Now you have already failed the exam. So passing of the exam is an impossible situation. Now you have already failed the exam because you had not studied. So this is an impossible situation. That is, the passing of the exam is an impossible situation. So if you had studied hard, you wouldn't have failed your examination. Okay. What is this? Third conditional. Can you remember the example I spoke of it? Third conditional, we'll see. If I had studied hard, I would have passed my exams. If I had studied hard, I would have passed the exam. So now we'll move on to the techniques. If I had studied, what is the tense it belongs to? Now earlier you said it was, when it comes to conditional type 1, we said it's simple present tense. Conditional type 2, simple past tense. So what is this tense? Had studied. What is the tense? Past perfect. had studied. If I had studied hard. Past perfect tense. Had plus past participle. Studied, studied, studied. If I had studied hard. Past participle of the verb study. I would have passed my exams. How have I constructed this? Would plus have plus past participle. This is the structure. You all know, children, in English, there are some areas where you come across with exceptions. Now, even when you change the singular noun into plural, there are exceptions. You can't apply the same rule to all the singular words when it comes to changing into plurals. But here, when it comes to these conditional sentences, there is a structure. So it's very easy for you all to remember. That's why I'm continuously picking up all the conditionals together when I explain the next coming up conditional sentence. Now here, if I had studied hard, had studied, past perfect, earlier, simple present, simple past, now it's past perfect, had plus past participle, studied, 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 past participle of study. I would have passed my exams. So the structure is this. You need to keep that in your memory. I plus would plus have plus past participle. Now here we'll come across the structure. If plus past perfect tense. If plus past perfect tense. Next one. What has happened to the main clause? The second part. Would. Now you all know the three words. Would, could, might. So you can use either would or could or might plus have plus past participle of the verb. What is the structure? Would, could or might, any one of those three, plus have plus past participle of the verb. So that is how you construct this third conditional. So now here, in the third conditional, if you had studied hard, you wouldn't have failed your exam. The mother says, if you had studied hard, you wouldn't have failed. Now you have failed the exam. Why? Because you had not studied. So that is an impossible situation. So this impossible situation is based on this third conditional. If you study hard. Now I'll brief out you the three conditionals again. So if you take the first one, now when you remember, children, when you study this conditional sentence, the most easiest sentence that you can keep in your mind is, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. That is the most easiest sentence that you can remember. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. That belongs to conditional type 1. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. And the second one is, if you studied hard, you would pass the exam. Right? Second one is, if you studied hard, you would pass the exam. And the third one, if you had studied hard, you would have passed the exam. So it's very simple, children. The three conditionals goes with the same example. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. If you studied hard, you would pass the exam. And the third one, if you had studied hard, you would have passed the exam. So the three conditionals with the same familiar example. So it's easy for you all to remember. Right? Whatever the conditional type you are learning, you apply the same example to all the three conditionals, so that it's easy for you to identify what are the changes that have come up in these three conditionals. So first one, conditional type 1, we spoke about possible situations. Conditional type 2, we spoke about imaginary situations. And the third one, we spoke about impossible situation, failing the exam because you have not studied. Right? So here is another example. If I had passed the exam, if you had passed your exam, you could have gone to the beach. What the example? If you had passed your exam, you could have gone to the beach. Now, because you have not studied and you have failed the exam, so you can't go to the beach. You can't get that entertainment, right? Okay, if I had, now you are imagining, if I had gone to the beach, I would have made sand castles. Right? Now you can't obviously make the sand castles because you can't go to the beach. The reason is because you have failed in the examination. So this is called an impossible situation. Making the sand castles is impossible in this situation. Why? Because you can't go to the beach. There is a reason behind it, right? So impossible situations. So keep in mind, in the third conditioner, you talk about impossible situations. So this is going to be the end of the presentation. So if I brief out my lesson, we spoke about 4 conditioner types: the zero conditional, conditioner type 1, conditioner type 2, and conditioner type 3. So zero conditional, in both the parties, the if clause and the main clause both came up with simple present tense, right? It's like a fact that cannot be changed. Now example which I took was melting of the ice cream. If you heat ice cream, definitely it's gonna melt, right? So both belongs to the same tense, simple present tense. So we came up to conditional type 1, where we spoke about possible situations, right? And the conditional type, conditional clause, it belongs to simple present tense, and then the next part, the main outcome, should be also in simple future, right? And then we came across conditional type 2, where we spoke about imaginary situations. If I had wings, I would fly, right? So next one, we spoke about the third conditioner, we spoke about impossible situations. If you had studied, past perfect. If you had studied, you would have passed the examination. Now of course you can't pass the examination. The reason is it has already finished. Impossible situation. So that is the brief out of this conditional lesson. It's very simple, children. So remember this stuff. And the last point which I need to highlight is, this is the basic stuff. So there is another small point which I need to express, that is the usage of the comma. In these conditional sentences, there are 2 ways of presenting a conditional sentence. One is, either you can keep this conditional part, right, the conditional clause or the if clause at the top or at the end. So if you take this if clause to the top, if you study hard, then there should be a comma. I told you at the beginning, at my slides, I told you, if you study hard, there should be a comma, and then you will pass the exam. So in between this if clause and the main clause, there was a comma. Right now, in the structure, there are 2 structures of presenting a conditional sentence. I told you, one is you can keep this if clause at the beginning or at the end, right? So when you keep this if condition or the conditional clause at the initial position, right? So when it comes to the initial position, there should be a comma in order to separate the if clause from the main clause. So at a glance, when you go through the sentence, you will know, okay, this is the if clause and this is the main clause, because the comma is there at the middle. That middle comma comes when it comes to the if clause at the initial position. And the second structure is, the comma is not there. Why? When you take this if clause to the end of the sentence, to the middle position. Now earlier we took it at the initial position. So now we are moving on to the second structure, that is conditional clause to the mid position. So then the result or the main clause comes to the top. You will pass the exam if you study hard. You will pass the exam if you study hard. The word if comes to the middle. So at a glance, when you see the sentence, the word if is there at the middle, it's in the middle. So then there shouldn't be the comma. You don't have to use the comma, because already you know that after the word if, there should be the if clause, and at the beginning there's a main clause. Right? So those are the 2 structures when you write when you are writing conditional sentence. Okay, children, this is going to be the end of my presentation on conditional sentences. So have a blessed stay at home, my dear children. God bless you all.